Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Is it? Is it? Well, I guess it's kind of afternoon.
Well, it's morning for me. I rolled out of bed and did a cartwheel here.
I love it. Okay, we'll get started. Hey guys, welcome back on Spotify with Stefs Rock Show. Our next guest is Too Sick to Pray. Thanks, guys, for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Of
excited.
course.
Thank you.
So you guys are in Los Angeles. I saw you just played the Whiskey. I used to live down there. I love that area. Tell me about your show at the Whiskey.
Anybody?
Jake, you want to take it?
All right, sure. It was amazing. I mean, for one, like the hospitality of the people that work there was phenomenal. You know, they gave us full access to like our friends and family were getting to go to the green room. It was super cool. And, you know, just the sound itself and like the history behind the whiskey. It's a big deal. I mean, you feel it on the stage. You know, you're up there where Jim Morrison's been, James Hetfield, you know, greats. So it was super fun, you know, and we also got done playing the Rainbow Room before that, which was super cool too.
I love the rainbow. You mean over the rainbow, like up above?
The Rainbow Bar and Grill, which is on Sunset also. Yeah.
I mean, did you guys play upstairs or outside?
Yep, up those little tiny stairs. You'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, lots of stories there too. And so what's the origin of the band? How did you guys all meet and come together?
I was coming out of a band that I was in for a very long time and didn't feel like going home. And I was pondering what I was going to do next. And I was going through my Instagram and I had kind of an idea of who would be good to get this started. And I was going to hit up PJ, and he was in another band called Cyanide. And I was going to ask him to cover so we could start writing some music, whether he wanted to stay or go, but if he'd help me out and, you know, go along with it so I could get up and running. And then this one, I booked her at a venue that I used to book at called The Six, and she had played in a Metallica cover band, and it hadn't occurred to me really. And then she liked a picture of my son on Instagram with foam on his chin, so it looks like my beard. And I went, oh my God. So I hit her up too, and we had a meeting at the harbor over here in Ventura, and from there
all got connected. Nice.
Yeah.
And do you guys have like your favorite bands or influences that you like or that you kind of would want to model the sound of your band after?
Oh, I don't know that I want to model my sound after everyone. I think what I write comes from all my influences over time and a little bit of me, you know what I mean? And I love Slayer, I love Venom, and I love Exodus, but I don't want to sound like them, you know what I mean? But we all absorb what we absorb from each one of them, and then bands that you're in throughout time, you work with different people and you absorb their stuff too, and it just becomes kind of a collectiveness. And I don't really know how it came to be what it is, but I like it, so it's all good.
Yeah. And DG, you're hot. I love the blue hair, the whole look, the vibe. Like, you don't see a lot of female drummers. When did you start drumming and know like this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I don't come from a drumming background. I come from a dance background. So I was a professional dancer for a really
Me too.
long. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I danced for the Lakers from 2009 to 2013.
That's
and
amazing.
So like I just have like rhythm in my bones and in my blood, and I've always liked rock and metal. And so I don't even necessarily feel like I hear drums. Like I feel the choreography of drumming. And so I think my approach to drumming is different from people who are like classically trained in playing drums.
And I listened to Meet Me at the Gates, and I like the whole, you know, obviously at the pearly gates, but what does that song mean for you guys individually?
Jake?
Well, for me, it means like an entirely different thing. The song is about the process of becoming one with your emotions and recognizing that you're never going to not be angry. You're never not going to be sad. It's about allowing yourself to just be present with the moment. And, you know, it's really on a deeper level about like becoming a human and having accountability and like kind of, not making excuses anymore and just becoming like the ultimate version of yourself, like grasping the fact that you are not perfect and taking your flaws and embracing them. It's a little different than people would expect, I guess. But
what about PJ? Do you ever write into the lyrics or just kind of like gel with what everyone's doing, or what's your part in the band that you contribute a lot to?
Well, I write songs, and like when I present something, it'll be a guitar and bass, and then everyone will add their magic to it when we get the foundation down. But for the most part, lyrically, Jake will do his thing, or we'll discuss maybe what it's about. But we've got a couple songs where I actually had an idea in mind when writing it, and Jake kind of helped make that come alive. So lyrically, I'm not much of a writer, but I do write the music, and sometimes when there's an idea in mind, again, Jake will help kind of bring that to life.
Yeah, we have a crazy way of doing things. For me, when I write a song, I depend on Jake 100% for his lyrics. I'm just going to say that in truth. And he never upsets. They always have a meaning. The lyrics, if you really listen to it, it really is a story in general. So I never mess with that. It's just a bunch of little notes in my head sometimes. And again, like Thomas said, if I bring something in, everyone wants to change it either more times for Jake to fit lyrics, or Thomas will have an idea to make it a little chunkier in a rhythm section, say, or so it's kind of, you bring a car that hasn't got mag wheels on it yet, and we all kind of fix it up together. It's best I can describe it.
Someone had compared Meet Me at the Gates to like a demonic or like evil Inside Out, because it's about like dealing with your emotions. And so it's like all the emotions pen up behind the gates. Have you ever saw that Disney movie?
Yeah, of course. I got kids, so I have to see all the Disney movies.
Me too.
Have you guys ever kind of disagreed on the direction of a song or the band or where it wants to go?
Oh yeah. It's okay.
I feel like that's common with every band. Yeah. What's the most recent where you guys were like, oh, I'm not vibing this direction?
I'd say we're writing a new song that nobody's heard right now. And I had an idea just from playing with other bands that we've been playing with, and we'll play with people that are not so heavy and people that are just, super heavy, or I'm not going to call it repetitive, but just that style to where it's, and we got to find a way to see where we fit best. And so my idea was to do something that was a little simpler and to where you're not looking at your neck or thinking too much, and you could kind of groove along with it. And I thought it was going to stay that way, but Jake said, hey, why don't we do this here? And I thought, no, there's no way, it has to be here. But at the end of the day, the little bit of change, it works. And we might as well not, swim upstream, I guess. Sometimes you just got to give things a try. It can be frustrating. I'm sure everyone that plays music deals with it, but you got to trust the process.
It always ends up being the best song ever. At the end, though. Like all our contributions, even like we just put out a brand new song, The Blacking Factory, and Jake wrote these lyrics that are like about fucking Charles Dickens and like 19th century child slave labor. Like that's what the song is about. And in the artwork, you can see each of us, like our identities, and it's just really cool to see the four of us come together. And it's like things that would never have been created independently of one another.
Absolutely. Actually, all of our artwork, it means something. The lyrics mean something, the artwork, everything ties together. And oh boy, is the next one going to be a banger. We're waiting on it. And it's just insane.
The things that we argue about, sometimes they're minor, and it always turns out like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, masterpiece.
Yeah.
Not to pat ourselves on the back or anything. No.
With help of others involved, like Adasi and so on, the music studio that we work with, and everyone involved, obviously. But
yeah, what's like an artist individually each of you like that would shock us? That'd be really surprising.
Oh man.
Go ahead,
that you
Jake.
listen to or follow?
Well, I mean, genuinely, most of the time, I never really listen to metal. I listen to rock. But like my guilty pleasure of something that nobody would expect, and even I think it's weird, is there's this like groovy rock pop band that's one of the Jonas Brothers called DNCE, and it's like kind of this weird Kenny Loggins vibe. It makes no
I've
sense.
heard them. Yeah.
Huh.
Cake by the Ocean song.
Yeah. Cake by the Ocean. That's Like, I feel like everyone, because I like heavy metal, but I like Weird Al, and so there's like these artists that we dig that are maybe not on our mainstream. But okay, what about you guys? Is there artists that would shock us that you like?
I don't know about shock. I'm a little older than everybody else, and I'm metal, but the old stuff is what I like. I like the old Venom. I guess some of that could be shocking if you've ever heard At War with Satan, like the B-side. It's literally a verse, like it's coming from a Bible for 13 solid minutes, or even littler bands like, or not little, I'll say, but Armored Saint. When I went to see them as a kid, Metallica opened for them, and they weren't even mentioned on the ticket. You know what I mean? And that's who I was there to see. And then I saw Ride the Lightning with Cliff. I mean, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this to people. I was young when I saw the show, and I was like overwhelmed with the crowd, the capacity, couldn't breathe, kind of anxiety. And I went outside to take a breather. I'm like, no, I'm going back in there. And I swear to God, from that day forward, it's been my job to do this to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, not a guilty pleasure. Just, again, like, that's why I write what I write. It's from a collectiveness of time. So,
I'm a huge Death Rock fan. So
Nice.
it's not like a real band, but they do actually tour, and their songs are just like an amalgam of all the coolest metal riffs and like metal ideas. And like Gene Hoglan is the drummer for the live band. And it's just, I mean, it's from that cartoon Metalocalypse. So I love me some Death Rock.
That was a really funny. I remember I used to get stoned and watch a lot of Adult Swim, and so that was a great show. Did you guys watch the final Black Sabbath show in England yesterday?
No,
I did, but
I did see Lamb of God threw on a Black Sabbath, like kind of a reunion,
Like a
cover.
tribute.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it looked amazing. Like everyone I've ever met and interviewed for years was at that show. So I just had a little bit of FOMO for not being there, but no, he got wheeled out in a chair. They're just still going. I guess. What is the best city to live in for live music?
ooh,
I think LA.
yeah, I think LA. I mean, everyone wants to come here, and if you're from England, you want to play the whiskey. You know what I mean? I mean, I think Ventura has more places to play per capita, but not everyone wants to come here to play it. It's a great place for us to live and function as a band because there's nothing but stuff to do, and there's work here, so you can support yourself in a beach community with lots of music. But I got to say, LA is where once you make it, or you try to make it here, and the weird thing, some people will go in a circle here for 10, 14, 15 years and not get anywhere, and some people just walk here. And I guess it depends on what people like. You know what I mean? You got to get that one cool dude to say they like you, so all the other cool people like it too. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I would say here.
Yeah,
I'd have to say, depending on the kind of music you play, probably Tennessee, Chicago, or LA.
That's fair for sure.
Yeah, I've been getting Nashville a lot, which used to always be LA, and Nashville's kind of been the most common response. I got to go there. I haven't been there yet, so it's on my list.
Yeah,
it's pretty hot.
I hear that too. Yeah. Okay, if you guys could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, Thomas, throw you in on that one.
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Let me think. Go for it.
I know. I mean, I've always the hardest thing about playing music in this world is it's like having 3 girlfriends, right? Like compromising, making music I would be able to like duplicate myself and finally create the exact fucking band I've always wanted to make.
Yeah.
You know, 4J Guises. It'd be fucking crazy, but it'd be amazing at the same time.
That's a good duplicate.
I would never age. That's what I'd do. Or
Brilliant.
die.
Yeah, never grow up. I don't want to grow up.
I was going to say kind of the same thing, to be able to do all the things we have to do in life and not need to actually sleep in between and be 100%. You have to do 2 shows in a row and you got to work, family, you know, all the regular stuff, and just be like, I don't need rest, but we get through these things. But yeah.
Yeah. I require a lot of sleep. I really like to sleep.
I like it, but I just don't get it. But
Okay.
I won't lie. I got some today. She texted me and goes, dude, the podcast. And luckily, we're around the corner from each other. So, yeah.
I know. I sleep a lot
good.
on the weekends when my kids are gone. I just catch up with sleep. So I do like 10 hours. Okay. If you guys could only have one last meal, what would it be?
Anyone go first? I know.
Dude, we all love breakfast. Like, that's a common theme in our band is like IHOP and Denny's. We just love us an omelet. I don't know.
It is my favorite meal.
Burgers.
Is what?
Burgers.
Burgers. God, that's a good one too.
Mine's right.
Well, I'm sorry, Jay.
Give me some broccoli, chicken, and rice. I'm good.
All right. Mine's going to be kind of funny and stupid, but I mean it. Marie Callender's chicken pot pie or stroganoff hamburger helper. Man,
That is so random.
Fucking no, it's so good. Admit it. Anyone who eats it shouldn't. But
Oh, I loved hamburger helper in college. I made for like 4 years straight. Like I
it's
loved
amazing.
It.
They shrunk the box on us a little bit, but
also eating enchiladas fire.
I haven't had it in a lot. I think the sodium might kill me now, but I used to love it back in the day.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm telling you, if we could make peace with the aliens, that would be the thing to do it. We'll play a hamburger helper, and they'd be like, "All right, man, these guys are cool."
Okay, if you could own any wild animal, what would it be?
A hippo. The baby ones, they're really cute, but they look smelly, so maybe not.
I'd have a gorilla.
A gorilla?
Yeah,
a gorilla
together. Nobody'd fuck with us.
That ruins mine. I wanted a spider monkey.
Spider monkey sounds safer.
Yeah, a little guy just kind of jump around and hang out.
Okay, what about you, PJ/Thomas?
Maybe a lemur or a sloth or something.
There you go.
I want a sloth because they look cuddly. Like they'll just hang on you.
Yeah. Be a good little buddy.
I dig that. Okay, favorite karaoke song to sing?
3 Little Pigs by Green Jelly.
On your mark, ready, set, let's go. Dance floor pro, getting G with it.
Nice. Nice.
Not much of a singer, but I'd have to say Antero Walk is definitely a popular one for that. I think everybody knows that.
Our friends Viminal have been covering that lately. And you sang that on your birthday.
I don't know how I pulled that off. I think it was only because I was drinking for my birthday. If I was sober and had to get up, no way. But yeah,
Liquid Courage. Yeah.
Yeah. What would I choose? I would Obituary Redneck Stomp because there's no lyrics in it. Yeah.
So you're saying you just dance up there drunk and get
exactly. That's my karaoke.
What is your favorite way to spend your weekend?
Practice. Is that lame? I love going to practice. It like makes my day on Sundays.
I agree. Music in some way, some form, because it's hard to get up and get going, but once you get there, you can't like calm down afterwards. You're pumped up, and the rest of your day, you're like, we're done. It was great, and now I feel great, and I still have this amount of time before work. But yeah, I'm gonna go with anything music for sure.
Spending time with my daughter. I definitely look forward to the weekends where she doesn't have school, I don't have work. We go out and get It's my favorite thing.
Oh, that's legit. Yeah.
I just love spending time with my dogs. I got 3 little dogs. Little Chihuahua Shih Tzu, and an Affin Pinscher, and we're pretty tight little pack. So usually what I'm always doing.
Nice. I love my animals. You got to spend time with them. You're too sick to pray right now. So, okay, tell us where to find you and what's coming up for the rest of 2025.
So you can find us at toosick2pray.com or toosick_to pray on Instagram. We have a show coming up on Friday, 7/11 at Liquid Gravity Brewing Company in San Luis Obispo. We're playing a very, very heavy metal show with Central Coast Music Productions. Excited for that one. We have a couple shows coming up in early August in Ventura. And we're trying to get our music video out here in a couple weeks for The Blacking Factory, which is a new single we just put out.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Check it out.
Amazing.
I'm stoked. Well, thank you guys so much for coming by Steph's Rock Show.
Thanks,
you.
Steph.